Yo, was geht up? Welcome back, Grand Training Systems, Mach Bar once again. Today, ankle exercises, opening up the ankle. I don't know what we want to call it. We just want to get some of these blocks so we get better range of motion in our ankle. So it basically involves a tennis ball, a leg, an ankle, and a band, and I think that's about it, and a few hands if we have them. So, first one we're going to do, in the ankle complex, we want to unlock that anterior tib because we know that's going down and connecting in the ankle, which is going to definitely cause it to lock up if it's tight. So, first one, tennis ball, we're going to get right in this area. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my right foot down and I'm going to cross it over my left leg. You don't have to do this. This just helps because it gives you a little bit of an easier way to kind of anchor your leg and get the motion that we want. So I'm just right here, and you can kind of search all around for that painful area. We can start up by the knee, and then we can kind of scoot down and get the ball a little bit lower. We can go up and down. We just want to find, right here is mine, that painful area that's going to be causing that block within our ankle because that muscle is always tight. So we're going to work on this one 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you want to. And then we're going to go sitting down and we're going to work on the opposite muscle. So now from the anterior tibialis to the posterior tibialis, which is going to be right behind that bone. And what we can do here is a few different things. We can basically just palpate it or touch it and search for some painful areas and massage it like this. You can grab some lotion if you want. You can also take a ball or any other crazy toy that you might have and also just work on it like this. Just really massaging in to that tissue directly behind the bone. So here my shin bone is, and basically right there is where that muscle begins, or anywhere else that's painful. If you find some tissue that is not feeling good, work on it because that is definitely causing some problems in your lower leg and it's also going to be blocking that ankle. So we're going to work on this. Again, we can go all the way up. I can start finding some tight spots myself. 3 to 5 minutes, 5 hours, however long you want to do it. But the point of all this stuff is to unlock the ankle so we can get a greater Achilles stretch at the end. So the second thing we want to look at or work with is opening up the front of our ankle so when we go into this stretch going forward, we're able to get it because we're not blocked here. We know a lot of times with lateral ankle sprains going this way, we say an anterior placed, so this fibular head moves forward, and we need sometimes to have it moved back in order to get this mechanic in our joint to move correctly. So what I like to do is to take a tennis ball or another light ball, a lacrosse ball will kill you, and basically just get it on my ankle. So right now I've got it on the right hand side. I use my left hand and I just start massaging my ankle or pushing my ankle down. So basically grabbing it over the heel or the calcaneus area and basically just moving it down, trying to basically get that ball to start moving that fibular head a little bit. I can change my direction to get more of that posterior movement and basically just trying to open up all those joints. You might hear some popping and some cracking and some strange moving, but don't worry about that as long as it's pain-free or it's just a bit painful, this is okay. Again, it's a tennis ball, so it's going to be a bit hard to really do some damage. So just push to your own comfort limits. And what we're going to work on doing is really unblocking that fibula, allowing it to slide back or glide back as our foot wants to come up, which is going to be very important when we want to open up that Achilles. The other one we want to do is we want to open up the anterior portion of the ankle, so right here. So you can stick with a tennis ball or whatever you have, or if you've got something a bit more insane like this, you can use that. This is a bit easier for us because what we can do is I can put the client down or I can put myself down and I can just basically get these knobs in my ankle and really start working on opening them up just like this. So I can go out to the lateral side of my ankle, I can move to the inside, I can sit down on my ankle. Really anything is possible. I can even move my ankle more to the side if I want to try to really get on that lateral portion of it. But usually what we notice here, right inside here, is where we start feeling that anterior tib and everything else. Really just getting a bit tight, not allowing the sliding, gliding mechanism of this joint to move forward like we want it. So once we've kind of opened everything else up, that moves us into our last portion, which is the stretch. So what we're going to do here, we're going to slide the band on, And also, using the floss band before this is also a fantastic idea to kind of get that last portion of really grinding that ankle in an open position. We've got another video actually on that, so you can see that on my page. So we're going to skip that portion and go right into the stretch. So I'm using a band here, again, to kind of work on those joint mechanics of the sliding and gliding to help my foot move back so my knee can move forward to really get that last portion of the range of motion here. But in order to do that correctly, I've got the band here, and I've got it under my two ankle bones, if you will, the medial and the lateral. These are the malleoli. And the reason we want this under is because we want it pulling on that portion of the joint that is dropping below our leg bones. So what that allows me to do here is then lean forward, and I start getting a posterior, a backwards pull here. But what I like to do, and Layla, if you can capture this on film, is I like to take my foot and trap down here, because when we're doing this mobilization, we wouldn't push straight back. We would actually push more in a posterior angle. So that means more diagonal, if you will. So when I put my foot down on this band, that gives me a little bit more of a diagonal pull, which is going to be a little bit more anatomical, if you will, for this stretch. And then what I can do here is I can go back into the thinking man, which we always call this stretch, or I can go into a flossing motion where I'm going forward and back in small oscillations, if you will, or I can even then go in circles, which is really just going to floss all those different ligaments and all those different bones, really forcing on opening up that anterior portion of the ankle, which is right here, allowing that posterior portion to really open up. And the reason we are doing this is because we want to try to get in that Japanese sitting position, we call it, standing. So I show you when we're done. But one more thing, random piece we can also do here is work on that squat motion here. So I can push my leg out, hold the heel down, because as I said, what we're trying to work on here is getting ourselves into this Japanese sitting position where we're here and our heels are on the ground, which, as you can see, mine are not, because I'm still missing that last portion of the Achilles range of motion. So that's a bit of an intense video today. It's quite a bit put together. Hope it makes sense. If not, right on the wall. Remember, Grant Training Systems, Mock Bar Fitness Studio, Best in Sindelfingen, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all over, wherever we are. Hope to see you later. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't yet. Until next week. Peace. Layla, good job.